Spain's King Carlos relinquished the throne amid a storm of skepticism. The king gave his son the throne in 2014 after being dogged by rumors of adultery and other financial problems. He then left for Abu Dhabi, but he was unable to escape from a different issue that has just gone viral. The reason is a mysterious woman, the secret mistress of the former King of Spain. The political climate in Spain has become quite hot, but to realize how hot it became, you have to watch the video till the very end. And with that said, let's get started. Entrepreneur Corinna Larson has received twice the attention thanks to her claims that she had a 5-year romance with the former monarch of Spain, and now she is suing Carlos for mental anguish to start with. She is disclosing information about their romance in a brand new podcast. Whoa, we really have evolved. Now confessions are coming in podcasts. Fascinating, right? 3 episodes of Corinna and the King have already been released. In the most recent, Larson alleges that while she was trying to care for her father, who was dying of cancer, the former king was seeing another new mistress. The 2012 accident that Juan Carlos experienced in Botswana when they were both on a hunting vacation thrust the connection between Corinna Larson and Spain's then king into the public eye. The event tarnished the monarch's reputation and played a role in his unexpected 2014 abdication. When audio recordings of Larson surfaced in 2018, she claimed she had been used as a front to hide some of Juan Carlos's money. The AVE high-speed train link from Medina to Mecca is one of the alleged crimes for which Juan Carlos I is being prosecuted by the Spanish Supreme Court public prosecutor. Other alleged crimes include bribery, obstructing the process of justice, influence peddling, and tax fraud. Prosecutors, however, declared that they would be putting these investigations on hold. Corinna Larson claims in the 8-episode series that the former King of Spain phoned her at work 10 times each day and used a false identity to conceal their connection. She even claims that he sent her flowers and letters. No, don't drool over the gesture and say how romantic. There is more to the story. The entrepreneur from Denmark said that she felt married to Juan Carlos during their relationship and referred to him as her true love spouse. She claimed she was pleased to continue their relationship because she felt like his partner, even though she knew he was seeing several women behind his wife, Queen Sophia's back. She even called him funny and quite persistent. On the other hand, Corinna also called the former king one of the biggest seducers in the royal world, noting that he was not only living a double life, but a 5-fold existence, which was less than ideal. The Corinna and the King podcast series will chronicle their connection from the beginning and explore how it ultimately played a significant role in Juan Carlos's resignation in 2014, paving the way for his son to succeed him as King Felipe VI. According to Corinna's account of the events, Juan Carlos told her that his marriage to Queen Sofia was simply a publicity stunt. They had long ago ceased spending time together when they were not in public view, and their marriage existed only in name. Carolina and Julian had started dating after some flirtation on a boat. She talks about how they first connected at La Garganta property in southern Spain, where she referred to the previous lover's furnished hunting lodge as Mi Casita. She also talks about how Juan Carlos immediately fell in love with her after meeting her and convinced her to go on a second date with the excuse of discussing hunting guns. She continues by saying that he used to call her using the codename Mr. Sumer to keep his identity a secret. Additionally, Corinna alleges in the podcast that Juan Carlos's unhealthy infatuation with wealth and riches was brought on by the passing of his younger brother and the financial hardships his family experienced throughout his adolescence. She described how their relationship ended, saying that something was unsettling and extremely cruel about him. She is devastated by the idea that the man who claims to love her children and to consider her as his life's love has included her in a judicial proceeding. Larson also claims that while on a tour of the palace, Queen Sophia, the king's wife, accosted her. 5 years after they first met in January 2009, the monarch gave her a pricey ring. However, according to Larson, the gift was more symbolic than binding. After then, Larson claims that the connection became weaker as a result of her caregiving for her father, who had terminal cancer. That year in August, he passed away. When Larson arrived in Madrid not long after, she was in a terrible condition of sadness and misery. The king somehow brought up the fact that she had not been around much during the 8 months her father was dying of cancer. Furthermore, he had been dating someone else. Now, Juan Carlos and Larson are engaged in a legal battle over $65 million in gifts. She charges the former king with unlawful monitoring, saying that when their relationship ended, he engaged in a continuous and ongoing campaign of harassment. Larson said before a British appeals court that Spanish operatives came into her residence in Switzerland and stole a book about the role of the British and U.S. Secret Services in Princess Diana's death. She believes she received a follow-up phone call that said what happened to Diana would also occur to her. Juan Carlos's legal team has consistently refuted Larson's claims. They said that the former king vehemently refutes claims that he harassed the secret mistress or ordered anybody to do so, and that he dismisses her charges to the contrary as incorrect and contradictory with prior remarks she has made in public. He claims that the charges also include an alleged abuse of power that is entirely incompatible with His Majesty's significant contribution to Spain's successful transition to parliamentary democracy and his lengthy tenure as sovereign. She claimed that the married 84-year-old former king had caused her significant emotional suffering by waging an ongoing harassment campaign against her after their relationship had ended. She is suing for compensation after alleging that he intimidated her and forced her to return presents totaling $65 million. In 1975, Spain had a democratic transformation that had been attributed to Juan Carlos. However, a slew of scandals surrounding his family, notably a corruption inquiry involving his daughter's husband, Iñaki Urdangarin, who was eventually imprisoned, led to his abdication of the kingdom in 2014. The former monarch left Spain due to fraud suspicions, which were ultimately dismissed, and has since spent more than 2 years in self-imposed exile in the UAE. Due to a lack of proof, a Swiss inquiry into a multi-million-dollar payment from Saudi Arabia was abandoned. When they both attended the hunting party at the Duke of Westminster's home, La Garganta in southern Spain, Corinna said she first met the then king. The mother of two recalls that occasion when she defied royal convention and left the table before the king had finished his meal. At the time, she was married to but estranged from her second husband, Prince Casimir zu Sayn-Wittgenstein Sayn. After the royal retreat, Corinna claimed the king began sending her flowers and love messages every day, indicating that the king was pleased by her audacity. The entrepreneur and her husband divorced the next year, and according to her, their relationship with the king only intensified over time. While in Brazil, Spanish intelligence agency officers were keeping tabs on her, and for many weeks, under the guise of making security preparations, a group of armed men and Spanish agents invaded her apartment and office in Monaco. She claimed that Juan Carlos would frequently return from travels with cash, and that if she questioned where the money came from, the disgraced monarch would ignore her. The journalist Bradley Hope created podcast series is set to coincide with Corinna's High Court lawsuit against Juan Carlos for alleged harassment and espionage. The former mistress also claimed that the former king presided over a court of miracles, a name used to describe the clandestine transactions carried out by beggars, immigrants, and thieves in medieval France. David Jimenez, former editor-in-chief of the Spanish newspaper El Mundo, also participated in the podcast and asserted that although the majority of the Spanish media were aware of the former monarch's financial activities and affairs, he remained untouchable. But there have long been rumors about the disgraced former king's legendary libido. It follows the publication of Juan Carlos, the King of 5,000 Lovers, by Spanish novelist and military historian Amadeo Martinez Ingles, which pieced together evidence of the king's sexual past and portrayed him as a rampant sex addict. You'd be surprised to know that Princess Diana is claimed to have only been one of the young women the former king sought throughout a love career in which he is said to have slept with almost 5,000 women, much like his namesake, the seducer Don Juan. Now, I definitely want to know your reactions. What do you think about the former king? Don't forget to comment down below. Well, this brings us to the end of today's video. Hope you liked the video. Make sure to hit the like button. And for more such videos, subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys at the next one. Until then, peace.